Hi, I'm Jan Harrell. I'm here from Houston, Texas. I'm going to be doing some videos on using the Sunshine painting colors, which are some of my favorite things to use for painterly qualities in the enamel medium. Today we're going to be making two sets of earrings that I've already gotten all the hard work done on it, so you can see the fun stuff today. We're working with the Sunshine colors. There's a lovely set here, and I would own every single one of these, and they look as yummy as they appear on camera. We've got a watercolor tray for us to put our different colors in and be able to use them till they're all gone. We've got textured copper material that these particular earrings were made from, and using the disc cutters that I showed in another video. We've got some stencil templates here that I have used to apply the white enamel on top of my discs here. I will also be using a grain enamel that is 2015. It's a Flux, one of my favorite colors. We'll be sifting material on with these screens. You've got to have the 100 and 200 mesh. I'll have a dust mask on to be able to live longer so I can do many more videos for you. And of course, the all-purpose surfactant, the mystery product. It's soap, but you need it. I have found that this is a great tool in my studio, and just to get these mock-ups ready for you to see the painting technique, all you do is you lay it on top of your copper blank and you sift enamel over the top and you pull it up. This has been shown in a previous video, and maybe you can go back and look at that, but that's how I got these shapes. And now we're going to the part where I'm going to put my mask on, and we're going to start with the painting enamels. The white enamel that I've put on these earring components is going to be a perfect palette for the Sunshine colors. So if you've been watching my videos, you know that I use this thing called Surfactant, which is a soap, on almost all of my surfaces. Someone asked me a question, how much do you put on? Well, I'm not putting very much on, and I'm rubbing a whole lot of it off. And it can't hurt you. But this is going to make a water-based product, not beat up on our surface, and we'll be able to get color in there. So I'm wiping it off, and I'm wiping it off even more. So it's just a hair. I've got 4 different colors here that I'm going to paint on. I've got my pipette with clean water, and I'm going to saturate these. If I paint the Sunshine colors on very thick, they're going to crack. If I want a very dense color, I may have to apply it 2 times with a firing in between. So it depends on if you want a translucent quality or a more opaque quality. Another thing about the Sunshine colors, they don't like to be fired very long. So when we get to the rest of this video, I'll show you how to put the Flux color on that will act as kind of a protectant. So these are it's a finely ground oxide, and they blend very nicely. If I get them too thin, I can add a little bit more. And I just paint them on top of these white areas. And it is kind of like watching sunshine paints dry. So this is just a painting thing. Also, if I think I've moved outside of the lines and I want to correct them, I will let this dry first. Instead of repainting it, I will come back with a little scribe and scratch out the areas that I don't want. I have my dirty water over there, and I'm going to add a few more colors here. So if you come from a painting background, this is something that you're really going to love. And it customizes these earrings so you could have a really versatile palette of colors. So I'm going to do a few more stripes in here. This one's a fun pattern because it's kind of a Baroque pattern. And I'm just going to paint a few different areas. I'll do a few of these off-site so you don't have to continue watching me not be a Michelangelo. Okay, that's good. Now, the thing that's going to keep these colors in place is this little coat of 2015 Flux. But before I apply that, I want this to dry. So I will either set it under a heat lamp or put it on top of the kiln. The reasoning behind that is the minute that I put this flux into a sifter and sift it on top of the piece, the grains of enamel go directly onto the wet areas, and I want them to be an overall coat. This is a Thompson Flux. It's not part of the Sunshine Color kit. I probably buy this by the bucket load because it's kind of a finish coat and a sealing coat that I use in between a lot of my enamels. It also makes your pieces have more depth. It puts a little coat of enamel on in between every single firing that you do. So let me get these dried on top of the kiln and I'll show you that sifting process one more time if you haven't seen it before. In case you don't remember from a previous video, these two sifters are necessary for you to get a lot of clarity in your pieces and not weight them down with so much enamel that your earrings get heavy. I dried these pieces on top of the kiln. You can see how matte finished they are. I'm going to put a little bit of the 2015 in the sifter. And remember, you don't need to fill it up to the top, but it needs to be enough that it coats all of the screen. And you need the magic quarter in there so it makes a noise. So I just need a little bit of enamel on top of here. I'm not going to spray it with the sprayers because I don't want to re-wet the sunshine colors. And that's enough. So the other thing that's helpful about putting a coat of flux on between your coats of sunshine colors, it is a direct indicator of when the enamel has melted. Sometimes you can't tell that with the sunshine colors because they don't gloss over so well, but you can always tell it in grain enamel. So the minute this grain enamel fuses and flattens out, you need to take the piece out. So let me take these over to the kiln and we'll fire these. I've dried these pieces. I've applied my flux on the top. They're on two small 3-pronged trivets. I can fire these at the same time in the kiln. I'm at about 1450, 1430. It doesn't really make a difference. And if I had a timer here, I would imagine that this would take about 1 minute and 15 seconds. And remember, the reds will brighten up as the piece cools. So let's let these cool and I will fire the other set of earrings next. The enameling part of this video is done, but we're only halfway done. You have all the refining that these pieces need to make them really look like special projects for you. Every place enamel is on the edge has to be sanded off. So we're going to look at some of the tools and refining techniques. We have a set of rivet tools that's going to make the fine silver rivet really fold over easily. A really pretty bench block that doesn't look like it's been chewed up. Fine silver seamless tubing that is very, very soft and easy to work with. A digital caliper for some of our measuring. This wonderful tubing cutter that has a gauge on it so you can cut repetitive sizes over and over again. A saw frame with a 2/0 saw blade. That usually is small enough for the tubing. And some of our refining of the enamel would be a diamond pad that we can use handheld with water, and also a small diamond burr that we're going to use in the center of the holes where the tubing rivet will go, and a little rivet hammer to make it all go down quickly. So first let's refine all the edges of the 4 components. We're going to use a diamond pad. This is a 200 grit. We're going to use it with water. We're going to stone the edges down. That takes care of the outside edge. You should see just beautiful copper there. We've also got to get rid of any glass that might have gotten into the tubing hole. I'm going to put my face mask on and my safety glasses. So just put a little water in there, just go around and around. You're not trying to make the hole any larger. You're actually just clearing the glass out of the hole, so when you apply pressure with metal, it won't make a runner. When I'm working on a lot of earrings, I will count every single piece that I'm working on so they all move up in progression. It's the best use of your time and tools if you don't have to set this diamond burr up every 2 seconds to do an interior of 1 pair of earrings. So just speed it up. So that tubing fits nicely in there, a little bit loose, but that's okay. That will still be a good tubing rivet. We want about 1 millimeter on each side, and for me the easiest way is to guess. You could use a digital caliper and gauge about how thick your piece of enamel is with the copper insert and the enamel on both sides, and then add 2 millimeters to that. But that gets awfully picky for me, so I usually just eyeball 1, set this in place, saw 1 out, see how it looks, and if it's good, do the rest. So you're not filing or sawing in the perpendicular position, you're just going straight down on top. And this little gauge won't let your tubing move around. I just hold it down with my fingers, and I like to position at the end of my bench pin so I don't have a lot of moving vehicles going around here, and I can just hold it down like that. It also makes it nice that I can just roll it forward and not spend a lot of time looking for little rivets on the floor. And the smaller the saw blade, the easier it is to cut tubing. So if you had a full set of saw blades, you might use a 4/0 or a 5/0 because they're even easier for tubing, but they break pretty easily, so 2/0 kind of does it for me. And here's the last one. I will be doing some other videos that show bigger pieces of tubing going into pendant components. On those pieces, I would actually file them on a piece of sandpaper so I get that little bit of kerf off of this area. So I put it on top of my bench block. I feed it through there. I use the second one because this is awfully pointed. That would just hit the bottom and I would bottom out. Holding it as level as I can, I take a rivet tool and slightly rivet it. So remember, this is fine silver. It is like butter and it just pushes over. I get just a little bit of a curve on one side and then I flip it over and I do the same on the other side. What I would like is each side of the rivet to look the same. And usually by the time you've gone about 2 times on each side, you're mostly done. So the next one has a shorter profile on it. And at that point, I just hit it with the hammer. One rivet done. It really shouldn't take any longer than that, and you get better at it as you're doing them repetitiously. But what a nice finishing element to an earring, instead of just having a hole at the top with no refinement to it. So using flat nose pliers, I'm opening up this earring component. I will slip my lovely tubing rivet enameled piece on there and then just wiggle it back. Don't open them out this way. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Bye.
Visit our Learning Center at cooltools.us for more cool jewelry making videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to sign up for our email list to be the first to hear about new videos, new products, and other cool stuff from Cool Tools.